Oh, great.
And I provided assistance with chain lightning.
That also happened, yes.
I
So
don't think there's
after
any ethical compromises in it whatsoever.
Oh no, Novaris didn't take any pleasure of it. It was more just like it needed to be done because if it was allowed to continue to progress, they would eventually knock over a village, and then they would propagate, and then they would knock over a town, and they would just get worse and worse over time. So the best thing is to do it now. That definitely it wasn't cool, but needed to be done.
so once they were completely and utterly destroyed, we just moved on, carried on to the capital. As we were getting into the capital, Novarius sensed an individual teleport onto our ship,
Okay.
tracing where the magic was originating from. He discovered a person that was invisible on our ship, and that is where we met the celestial named Alice.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Leave me alone! Okay. Is it that one?
No,
Are we sure about that?
the characters are not.
Okay, cool. So it's not Alice. It's just someone else with a really unfortunate name.
This is what they
Oh
look
no.
like.
Alright, so that one.
Yeah, this individual is claiming to be the Alice.
Are they celestial? Like, can we see their eyes?
They appear to be a celestial.
Cool. Alright. So how do we kill them?
We didn't kill them.
So how do we kill them?
Well, so when they teleported onto the ship, Novarius found them, casted see invisibility, and then once she realized that the invisibility wasn't worth it because they could see her anyway, that she just dropped her invisibility and then started talking with us.
And now we're gonna kill her?
Not yet.
Hmm.
So, conversation back and forth as to why she's on our ship and whatnot. Kevin was asking questions like, "Why didn't you just ask if you wanted to see the ship?" And Alice, in true Alice nature, was like, "Well, as a Celestial, I'm afforded certain rights within this nation." Um, and Kevin was like, "Oh yeah, well, you know, fine and all, but this ship doesn't belong to the nation. Also, being a Celestial doesn't exactly make you special on this ship." And then that's when Alice realized that most of the rest of us were also Celestials.
Incredible.
So conversation back and forth as to what Alice wanted. She wanted to see the ship, so Sabo gave her a tour, and then she just kind of went away. She did have a small conversation with Novarius about whether it's possible to restore Leuven, which she said there is a way. It involves newborn human souls.
Alright. Well, that's something.
That ultimately triggered a argument, and Novaris was dumbfounded by the fact that she doesn't see like the inherent sanctity and importance of life in general, and it's not acceptable to do that. And she questioned Nilvarius and just, doing a whole semantics things like why? What proof do you have that it's not that it's not okay to do it? And Nilvarius couldn't really think of it, really argue with her because that's just it's
It's
obvious.
fundamentals. You can't
I
argue
should
fundamentals.
it's hard. It's hard to like I don't if you don't understand that I can't explain it to you. And she was just really got under his skin.
That was perfect timing. The foundry should be back up now.
Yep, I'm loading in now. After we got done with the Alice situation, Kevin went to go see Linzel. Linzel presented her plan for taking care of Greystone's curse. Her plan was releasing the arcane parasites that we had gotten from that Frost Giant's tower,
All right.
just in and around Greystone to eat the magic of the curse, killing everyone in Greystone and around Greystone, and potentially spreading the parasites all over the place unless we quarantine them effectively. And once the magic was reduced sufficiently, then just remove curse spell.
I'm gonna be honest, it doesn't sound like a bad idea.
Because
yeah,
it
it
was
has
gonna.
terrible risks, but like, if you calculate the amount of suffering there that has been going over amount of time.
Yeah, so Kevin wasn't sure what to do with that because of how much suffering it would induce.
Yeah, but
So
it's
he
only
told
gonna stop
Linzel
more
that.
such suffering in the long term.
So he told Linzel he was going to have to think on it before he accepted her help in that regard.
You're right.
And then there were a few other small conversations between the PCs and NPCs, but that was about it.
That was all of the important ones.
I had my conversation with Leuven, and I came close to actually putting him out of his misery.
You're
Don't
right,
do
I
that.
actually forgot about that.
Oh
You
that
got
did
really?
happen.
Yeah, it was because the ultimate reality is like we're not actually gonna do this, and Alice gave the impression that like that's it, that's the only way, and he came close to actually following through with that. I rolled a d20 as a decision dice, and Kevin was prepared to spend inspirations to make me re-roll to make sure that I didn't follow through with that, and then I talked to Yisla because as the only other person that's older and has a little more wisdom and isn't practically a baby by his, understanding. They just had a good conversation, and I think
Moderately
that's what was
offended
left.
by that. Actually, very offended by that. How dare you?
You weren't there. You weren't there. You couldn't be offended.
Yeah, but like, you could have chosen literally anyone else. We should bring back Malice. He's gonna be a better conversation. Go chat to Vecna.
I just got kicked
Anyone
out.
else.
I literally got kicked out of Celestia.
I pressed the wrong button by mistake. Should be back up in a second.
Yeah, it is. Alright, joining.
I guess since you weren't there for that, Navarez had said some what could be described as mildly incendiary like things. Just him, his more negative thoughts that Yisla, Yisla heard just because he needed to air it out.
Okay, so moving to the next day if everyone's fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Hisla is going to be knocking on your door, Nilvarius.
It's open. Come in.
She opens the door. We have a problem.
What is it? What is it?
Kevin is missing.
Missing. Okay. Where was he last?
Well, he was last on a ship.
Sorry, you cut out. I'm not hearing you, James.
He was last on a ship.
Like, how recently has he been gone for? Like, how long?
Well, he was here last night and then he was gone this morning.
Do you want me to try and perform a scrying to find him, or ascending to see where he's at?
I'm just curious if this is out of character for him. Does he often go away?
Why can't I open my sheet? There we go. Usually he announces where he's going, but maybe he's decided to do something on his own. Maybe he's made this that he's going to do something that we all would not want him to do. He hasn't gone out on his own since the entire time since you've been gone. So I am uncertain. For all we know, he could just have gone to town. But it's news to me. We can take a look around town and see if we can find out, or I can, as I said, I can just simply try and message him.
Send him a message if you can.
Can do. Kevin, where are you? No, um, Isla is worried. Are you okay? Are you all right?
And I'm assuming I received that sending just fine.
Yep.
Kevin would reply, I'm fine. Tell her I've gone into town to be alone and think about the decision I have to make.
Do you want me to say anything specific to Isla? I will let her know that you are well, but do you want me to tell her anything?
She will know what I'm talking about when you tell her about the decision.
All right, that's the end of that use on that spell. He says that he is in town and that he wanted some time to himself to think about the decision that he has to make. He said that you would understand.
And that explains that.
I'm assuming he's thinking about what exactly we're supposed to do with the castle. Is that a correct assumption? Or more about what he's supposed to do with
I would presume as
considering
much.
his oaths? Well, he's all right. I guess there's no need to intrude.
Thank you, Novarius. She leaves your room.
It is no problem.
Alright. What is everyone doing today?
Mia is training.
I don't think I have anything important for me to research right now, so I will be looking into that adamantine scroll that I was bequeathed.
Alright. So when you're experimenting with the scroll, you find that if you actually try to transcribe it to paper, the paper itself burns away.
Do I get an understanding of how much like magic I need to conjure in order to actually even like utilize it?
Well, fortunately that's actually woven into the spell itself. So this was an epic spell of... where is that? Oh, I've given out two to this group. Which epic spell was this?
This was Demiplane Seed.
Ah. So the second one. Okay. It's actually powerful enough that the spell itself does not require a spell slot. Instead, it requires magical artifacts to be sacrificed in a certain volume.
Oh, I'm assuming understanding a quantity is somewhat nebulous, and I won't understand until I'm presented with the opportunity to do so. Is that a correct assumption?
Well, it's more... the more powerful the artifacts, the larger the demiplane.
Oh, okay, I got you. But I'm assuming what it's all those are only consumed at the initial casting, and not at
Correct.
like a later time. Okay.
It's quite difficult to edit a planar like the planar walls for a plane once it's actually solidified. But while it's solidifying, you can expand it as much as you want, really. It's quite malleable.
Am I able to get it? Am I able to get a? Is there any sort of understanding of how old this how this scroll is? Is there any way to determine that?
Maybe. Make me a craft check. You are reasonably sure that the scroll is a few hundred years old, but there are sections of it that have been adjusted. In a strange way, though. It's like the adamantine itself stretched and warped on the actual quote-unquote parchment to change the shapes of words, to change the figure of numbers.
So it's been modified to be more malleable, basically.
It's been modified, but there's no signs of manual modification to this. Maybe magical, but if you had to guess, it's like the spell corrected itself.
That warrants more research. Obviously, understanding how the creation demiplanes might in this new age might be a little bit different. Taking that into account, he'll try and do some research on that, going into a local library if necessary to actually like pursue this, try and understand this just a little bit more.
Yep. Make me a research check, or a planar lore check.
Is there a difference between the two? Because I actually do have research now, so is there a
Planar
tier
lore would
status
probably be
difference?
more specific, but research would be one step lower.
Okay, that's fine. That's a 2-point difference. I'll do.
You quite quickly discover that you need a more advanced library than this.
Okay.
The humans
gotcha.
are just too primitive.
Yep. Yep. Don't remember. Did I have anything else to research? Don't remember. I can't think of anything offhand, so I will go ahead and pass to the next person.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
So, for the past 2 days, you guys have been back in...
Able to.
Okay. So, at the moment, the child is scheduled to have quote-unquote visitation 2 days a week, and that is meant to be in 3 days' time. Sorry, 1 day's time.
Okay. That's fine. Are we going to be here for until then?
Potentially. You guys don't necessarily know how long you plan to stay.
Well, I will be here until then.
There was one other thing that was actually mentioned to us that could be lucrative to us, and that there is another, what's her name? The kitsune. I forgot her name.
Linzel.
Linzel. She before we got distracted by something else, if we needed time to figure out what we're going to do with Castle Greystone, she also introduced the idea that can be lucrative to us, a different dwarf clan handling gems and whatnot. Something that actually can be lucrative in terms of money that we may have like forgotten about, if that's something that we'd be interested in looking for.
All right.
Just want to bring that up.
Okay. Yeah, if that doesn't happen, she will be waiting, studying, and waiting. Unless someone
Okay.
specifically goes looking for her, I don't see Nia doing much.
Alright.
I believe she would do since we're not like in the ship all the time, right?
Well, a lot of people are.
Yeah,
But you
no, I
don't
think
Navaris
have
Nia
to
would be
be.
in
Yeah.
the
I feel like
Nia would be in
several
the
of us
outskirts
would
of
be on
town.
ship. Yeah.
How big is the town again?
It's a fairly big city. It's
Is it
nowhere near as
too
large as
big to travel in a
Elgara,
day?
but to travel from one side to the other probably takes you about 5 hours.
That's fine then. Yeah. How about to fly from one side to the other then?
Maybe 20, 40 minutes.
Yeah. No, she's in the outskirts of town. There's a forest outside, right? Or was it a hill? I don't remember.
Plains region. There is a small grove to the north and a small grove to the south, but they're about 3 miles out of
saying-
town.
How long did it take her to get there flying?
I'd be about an hour.
Yeah,
What's
she's
your
staying
fly
in the
speed,
Northern
actually?
Grove. I believe 30. Yeah, 30 feet.
Yep, it would be about an hour.
Yeah, she's staying in the Northern Grove.
Okay. So you go off to the Northern Grove.
Yep.
And among the gardeners there, you see a dwarf.
Cool.
Kevin, to be exact.
Really?
Really.
Okay, I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna go to Southern Grove. Bye.
Kevin, you catch a glimpse of Nia, and then they turn tail and leave.
Okay.
To the Southern Grove we go. Bye bye. Is there any more, like, if I'm willing to fly 3 hours to and fro, is there anything a bit more isolated?
Well, there's planes for the most part.
It's not hidden enough. Yeah, she's gonna be in the Southern Grove.
Okay. Fortitude save, please.
Alright. Can I ask why?
Drugs in the air.
Drugs?
Yep.
What kind of drugs? 26.
26 is a failure, but not a critical one.
What kind of drugs exactly? And is there something she would have known if it was there?
Nope.
Then yeah, whatever.
Your focus becomes sharper. Your senses become heightened.
Cool.
Your
Can you tell
patience
what's from?
becomes shorter.
Cool.
This place is good. Pleasant.
That is nice. She will chill here.
They've got little meditation
training.
platforms, stone discs that sit on water.
I think that's where she's gonna spend her time. You're doing anything else unless someone goes out of their way to interact with her. So if that happens, you'll tell me.
Milvarius, back to you.
Okay. Uh, all right, I have one language slot. I have one language slot unallocated, so I'm gonna go look. I'm looking around at and see if there's any other like regional dialects or in their library of any other languages that are useful and that he can actually learn to add to his
Oh, they might
myriad of
actually
what he can
have
already
that.
speak.
Make me a research check. Alright. That is almost certainly a success. You're able to find a few different languages. There's not much on them, And none of them that you found thus far have enough to learn and actually practice the language, but you might be able to do more research here to fully discover that.
Okay, like what exactly do I find? Are the languages actually useful, or are they just like they're not from the local area?
There is one that is it seems to follow the rules of Elven speech, but it is more human in nature. There is one
Okay.
that is almost entirely a war-based language. Seems to be constructed around orders already based. And there is a third that is almost ethereal. There's not any defining characteristics to almost anything. The ocean is like the the large water rather than an ocean.
Are there actual practitioners in the real world that actually speak these languages currently?
Possibly, but you've not heard of these languages before.
All right, I found a research topic then.
Okay. So, is that what you guys are doing for the next 3 or 4 days?
Well,
Yeah, I'd
on the
say so.
third day, she's gonna go spend time with Little Liff, and then she's gonna go back to the Grove.
Alright. Mia, you've noticed that your your child has taken on a female form.
Interesting. Is that what they prefer?
Yes.
All right. He is happy to acknowledge that, I suppose.
Your child asks you which one of you two is their dad.
Profound sigh.
What was that?
Profound sigh. We'll tell them that she has two moms.
That doesn't
Means
make
she's
sense.
immune to your mom jokes.
All the other kids have mums and dads.
Yeah, but you're better than them, so it's fine. I'm kidding, I'm not literally gonna say that. Hold on. How old is she at this point?
Bit under 5. Sorry, bit over
I
5.
will try to explain to them in, well, child terms, I guess, that that changelings, the thing that both me and Naya are, can change their shapes however much they want.
That's
Any
weird,
of us.
though.
Is it?
None of them can do it.
Yeah.
My friends
Doesn't that
can't
mean
do
you
it.
have a special ability?
Makes me weird.
Makes you special. Being different is hard, I know, but
It's hard to always get what I
Yes.
look like right, and when things are different, they point it out and laugh.
I'm sorry. Are they being mean to you?
Only when I'm weird.
James, from what I know, are children in this town raised with the whole celestial thing? Culturally speaking?
They are quite aware of the feats that Celestials have done for them and that they should be respected.
So if she tells them that she's a daughter of a Celestial, do I think that that's going to buy her?
But it's kind of like saying your dad's Robert Downey Jr.
Fair enough, I suppose. I'm going to go talk to their teachers anyway. Does she have school tomorrow or what?
Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to go with them to their school. Is that something that I can do?
There's nothing preventing you from doing that.
Yeah, I guess I'll do that.
Okay, you go to the school.
I guess I will speak with the teacher.
Which one of her teachers would you like to speak with?
Is there someone responsible for the class?
The year level coordinator.
And that is who I'm going to be speaking to.
Okay. I actually have a hero forge for them.
Incredible. Incidentally, how do I change my active character again? So I can change it from Sachi to whomever else?
You right-click on your name in the Players section
Understood.
and go to User Configuration.
For some reason, it still says Sachi. Still has the bars of Sachi and stuff. Maybe I can change that.
I would try refreshing because it's showing you as Nia now for me.
No.
Yeah.
It's not. Well, we'll try that, but I think it's about the bar plugin. We'll see.
Okay, you're taken to Henry Law.
Cool. He's going to assume a mildly more human form.
Okay.
Not completely, by the way, just standard skin tone.
Yep.
And only one horn. I actually have a hero forge for that I've made weeks ago, but you know, wouldn't be a me session if I didn't send the necessary hero forge updates every 5 seconds.
Yep.
It's been too long. You guys have been getting it too easy.
So you're taken into his office. How can I help
Right.
you?
Hello. I'm here to
I-
speak on behalf of my child.
And tell me, which of the children is your child?
Lith.
Ah, Lydia.
Lith.
That's not the name they've asked us to call them.
Is it now? I'll be talking with them about that later, but very well. In any case, they seem to be experiencing some level of hazing for their race.
Yes, they have been.
I expect you are all doing something about that?
We have
I
been
know children
managing
can
it
be
where
cruel,
we
and
can, and we've had lessons about it. But that can only go so far.
yes, children are cruel.
Does she have the support at home needed to adjust to such difficulties?
I don't think so, unfortunately.
That was not our understanding of things. In which case, we will make certain adjustments.
I am doing my best, as is Naya. But this is a new situation for us both. I am doing my best to support her as I can. How much time does she spend with us per week, supposedly? Or is it per month?
So per month, you get basically 4 days.
Alright.
A child here, for the most part, it depends. A lot of them go home after class.
I see.
Some of them stay on campus, though, as well. Having
Right.
been sent there by their families from cities quite far away.
Mm-hmm. The way she phrases it is that we we tend to live relatively far away, which is why she spends a lot of time in the campus. Which isn't inaccurate, but
Alright.
alright. I will ask him to make sure he does what he can for her.
I do what I can for all of my students. And since you've brought this to my... Well, I was going to say to my desk, but to me, I will make some adjustments for her.
Please do. Try not to make her feel isolated by making special treatment too obvious. I understand there's not much you can do one way or the other, and anything you do will have consequences, but it is worth pointing out. Children are very sensitive to change.
Yes, and it's always about balancing what we do for them against what the children may do against them.
Yes.
Is there anything else I can help you with?
Ensure she's not called out too much if she ever brings up her parentage. I understand she might be called a liar out if she ever brings it up. And it's not something I would prefer for her to have to do at all, but if she thinks it will protect her from hazing of any kind, then I suppose it is better that she can do that rather than she cannot.
Have you spoken
Of
to...
course.
I was going to say her father, but I presume... Naya is their name, correct? They have not
Yes.
been very conversational.
She sighs. It has only recently occurred to me that she might perhaps not be as cooperative as I wished. Yes, her name is Naya. Well, does Naya use she or they?
She more than they, but she also
Understood.
just doesn't really
Both.
care.
I know, but it's relevant nonetheless. She is her called Naya, yes.
I see.
I am Nia. Yes, I am aware of the name similarities. Thankfully, they sound rather distinct.
Hmm.
What about them?
She seems unsupporting of the life that your child together has decided to live.
My wife is from a very combative culture.
She seems opposed to
And
the adoption of the culture.
I would imagine so.
Is this a hostility that we are going to continue to experience?
I hope not. This is a trying period for her, and she is responding poorly for now. But we are adults. If such difficulties continue to be experienced, I'll do my best to step up where I am needed. I am her mother, after all. Oh, Lydia's, I suppose. She furrows her eyebrows after saying that name. Mia's thinking, why'd you have to pick that name in particular, having flashbacks of all the time she shouted Lydia from a rooftop in Skyrim? I am sworn to carry your burdens.
Alright. Well, if there's nothing else, they gesture towards the door.
Very well. Incidentally, I'm assuming you know of what myself and Naya do?
It was
I'm
on
actually not sure what you...
paperwork. I'm aware that you're a
Wonderful.
celestial. I have been specifically instructed not to give you any personal favor, though I would like to make it known that I am grateful for everything you've done for us. You and your people, of course.
That is not what I refer to. I mean that we mostly, and in service of this nation, we live a very... what should call it?
Distant.
Not exactly distant. What's it called when a people move from place to place all the time? I'm missing the word.
Nomadic.
Nomadic, yes. Our lifestyle is very nomadic by necessity, and thus part has proven to continue to be necessary, not only for ourselves, but also for the services we provide to the nation. Good or ill. I am doing my best to find ways to be more present in my daughter's life without compromising on the things I have to do for the nation and the people. I ask that you continue to support my daughter in these trying times, and if the hazing comes to be too much, I ask that you bring it to my attention. Thank you.
Very well.
I'm gonna go meet my child's children, I suppose. My child's child friends, I guess. Whatever. Playmates? I don't know. I'm described.
Classmates.
Yeah, sure.
She introduces
The
you
other
to a
little
few of them.
ground Cool.
Most of them are children of rather important people from all over the country.
Interesting. I'll spend a day with him. Get to know him. It's important to know who my child is talking to us and stuff. Also, James, is it possible for me to find a ring of sending in the city? And or make one? Like, we've been on the road for a little bit. Something I've been thinking about in meta is that I should give her something that lets her exchange sendings with me every day. Is that possible for me to acquire and or make during the downtime we've had thus far?
Let me see. To craft one, probably not. You don't have the necessary components. But
Alright.
let me see if any of the stores have one.
Either here or we were in the Dwarven City, right? So perhaps there. Because I can cast sending myself, but I would like for her to be able to do that like a bit more frequently than I can just recharge the spell slots. And if I can find an item they can do it like daily or like once every 2 days or something like that. That'd be nice.
Oh, I don't forget the travel time for sending. It's about a mile around.
What do you mean?
For when you've been sending people and there's been the pauses, it's usually about a mile around that the sending travels. It's the same for teleports.
After?
Sending is
Understood.
planetary.
Yeah, it can go anywhere on the planet. It just takes time for it to get there and come back.
Oh, okay.
Yep, that's fine. It's better than nothing.
Well, yeah, it's not going to be any consequence to you guys, because at most it's like a few hours. But, would you like one with 3 charges? And
Per day or per?
They recharge 1 charge per day, but they can have a maximum of 3 at any point in time.
Is there 3 charges or? Is there an or or is that it?
There's no item with more charges than that, but there is a 2 charge one that recharges 2 charges a day.
What's different? Yeah, I think that one's better, right? That one's better.
Do you want the 2 or 3 charge one?
The 2-1.
Okay, that will be 10,610.77 gold.
I haven't been super keeping track of my finances, so I'm gonna have to run some calculator. But I'm going to assume that I can either afford that or I can like ask.
I know
Like,
for a fact that you
Kevin
can
and
afford that.
yeah. So if you can help me with finances later on, that would be great appreciative. I'm a bit out of the loop currently, but I'm gonna be buying that.
Well, there hasn't been any payout since the last time.
Yep. Okay. I'm gonna be buying that,
Okay.
and yeah. One thing I would have asked the guy with Henry about is if he thinks she's responsible enough to handle that, or if it's better for me to keep it until she's a bit older. I prefer to give it to her, but
Well, that is an item of extreme value.
Mhm.
And we cannot guarantee what she might do with it. She could lose it.
understood. I'll be keeping it for myself for a little bit.
All right.
But I'm gonna be letting her know that I'm gonna be sending her a message every day. 2 messages, so we can have a short conversation. Sometimes more because I have the sending myself if need be. And that
Okay.
once she's a little bit older, I'm going to be giving her the way a way to talk to me instead. And then I'm gonna be spending the next 2 days with her, letting her guide me around. Who does she want me to meet? What does she want to talk about? What does she like? What does she dislike? What she want to do? Stuff like that.
She asked you if you can hide your wings.
I hide my wings.
Then should show you around the city a bit.
All right.
Okay, Kevin,
Yes.
what are you up to?
I think by this point he has definitely made his decision, so he's going to go talk to Linzel.
Okay. First or second day?
We'll do second day.
Okay, she is in chambers. Though, what's quite rare, it is Linzel, it is the Mind Flayer, and it is the Inquisitor.
I don't know if I've met the Inquisitor.
Yes, you have. She beat the living crap out of Leuven.
Oh, Melees?
Melees. I just don't think you've heard their role before.
No, I had not.
Okay. So, what would you like to say?
Basically, just tell Linzel that I cannot accept that form of help because it's not there's too many risks and too much harm that will be done from it.
Well, hang on just a second, Mrs. Linsell. You're dooming those people. Aren't you meant to be better than that?
I never said that I'm going to stop looking for a way to help them, just that that way is not the right way.
Then you hear her mutter a word. You're not sure what language she's speaking, but it sounds like a slur of some kind. The Inquisitor raises their eyebrows, they look at her. And she takes her hat off and places it in front of her. The Mind Flayer is actually the one who speaks up and says that is uncalled for. The Kitsune has not stopped squinting at you. I wouldn't quite call this glaring, but squinting. One looks a fair bit stranger than the other.
I don't know what you expect this look to accomplish, but if you've got no other options to help, then I'll be on my way.
As you leave the room, she says you can't keep your word to anyone. Not even these people.
They would probably notice like a pause in his step as he keeps going. That clearly got some reaction out of him, but he's, you know, still leaving.
Alright.
And then I don't believe Alice said where she was staying in the city, did she?
Nope.
All right. And then I think back to the ship I go.
Alright. Okay. Novarius, can I get another research
Yes.
check from you, please?
Most certainly.
Okay. Okay. You think you've decrypted the rules to the Orcish language, the language of combat.
Okay.
Yuzan. I believe that's what it's called. Let me double check that.
Is it a language that's still actually spoken to this day?
Yes.
Cool.
Okay. I'd imagine you'd all see Kevin back at the ship that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, your daughter had quite a nice day with you. Though the longer the day goes on, the sadder she seems to get.
I will ask her why she looks that way.
You're going to go away again.
I'll be back more. And you'll be talking to me every day. It won't be like before.
Why
You'll
don't I
barely have
get to
time to
go
miss me.
with you anymore? Did I do something?
Never. It was something done to you, and it's not something that's going to be a problem for much longer. Before you know it, you'll be out there with us in the ship. But you know what? I don't say this lightly, so don't think I'm taking my promise back to you. It won't take long before you're with us, but until then, if I can ask you something?
She nods.
I know that the people here haven't been the nicest to you. I'm sorry about that. You deserve so much better, darling. But try to learn something that you're gonna be able to take with you for the rest of your life, yeah? You're getting an opportunity that a lot of people don't get. And I'm not saying you should be grateful for this when you would much rather be elsewhere, but I'm saying that you can take a bit of good from the bad, so that in the future, when you're with us again, out there in the sea and storms, you'll have gained something worthwhile from this. That'd be nice, right? You'll have met friends here, you have learned things that are gonna make your life better. That's all I ask from you.
But I like it here.
You do?
I have friends here.
Even when people are mean to you?
They only mean when
I'm not gonna
weird.
judge. They shouldn't be mean, you're never weird.
As you say that, she realizes that her arm has been slightly too long this entire time, outstretched towards you, so she quickly corrects that.
Did I ever show you what I looked like when I was, my natural look, my appearance?
Yeah, I think.
I'm gonna shift to my Celestia appearance, the one that I was short and stuff. Before I got the blessing.
Alright.
Not that much taller than you are. Kinda funny, right?
Why do you look so weird?
Is it weird?
This is the one with the wings, the horns, and everything, right?
Uh-huh.
Your skin's shiny, your horns are all over the place, your eyes. The colors don't match. Your hair.
My eyes are always like this, but
I know. Your hair's weird too.
it's pretty cool, right? I mean, I don't like the height, personally. I like being taller a lot. But, it is what it is. There's a lot of different people in this world. She's gonna turn into every person she mentions from here on out, just letting you know.
Alright.
And then she turns into Aiden when he was an Osimar. She turns into the Devil Lady. She turns into Aiden now when he's an elephant. She turns into Tsabo, Kevin, Nilvarius. Some of the halflings she's met, the Weird King in Blackstone, or Greystone, sorry. to Brainy, and then Flurry. Why are all these people weird?
Because they're not like us.
Who's us?
My friends.
Your friends aren't the only people in the world, you know. There was a village I went to. A beautiful place. Wonderful. Every single person was a halfling. That's where Yesla comes from. Every one of them. The adults there are probably about as short as you are. And they were some of the kindest people I've ever met. Kind, considerate, and they had good food, too. I'm not saying this is a platitude, but there's so much more to the world than this place. And this is a nice place. With good people, most of the time. But just because they think something is weird doesn't mean it is.
Then take me with you.
I'm going to. Not now, but soon.
Why not now?
I wish I could, baby. There's some mean people making sure that we can't. But they won't be doing that for long, and before you know it, we'll be out there seeing the world. And hopefully you'll have taken something good from this place.
She seems a bit thrown off by that.
Who's that?
Child naivety at taking you at your word. Sadness at not going with you.
Fair enough. Nia's trying to be honest with her daughter. Even if she knows that's not super wise every time, she thinks that she deserves to hear what's going on because that's what she would have liked. Time will tell if she's doing the right thing or not.
Okay. No, but that is where you usually stay.
No, I'm saying the Grove. I'm gonna go back there to ask if we're gonna come back today, but that's it.
Okay. Kevin, are you waiting on the ship to have a discussion with everyone?
I was gonna see if Nilvarius would be able to cast Ascending for me.
Okay.
Of course. Who would you like me to send it to?
Alice. I want to know where she is so I can meet up with her and ask her how to find that Morgana she mentioned.
The what she mentioned?
Morgana, her apprentice.
Oh. He pauses for a moment. There's a little bit of reluctance the moment you mention Alice. Fine. I go ahead and I do the sending to Alice. And tell her, this is Nilvarius. One of my companions wished to meet with you and wished to know where you are staying.
There is no response, but you sense teleportation magic on the ship.
She's here somewhere. I'm sure you can find her.
I'll go
She
look for
teleported.
Alice.
Yeah, she's teleported on board somewhere.
She's sitting on the top deck, just leaning over the railing, holding onto a rope.
You want to keep asking?
So, you needed to speak to me?
Yes, you mentioned that your apprentice Morgana was the one that was your curse breaking expert, right?
Yes.
How do I find her?
She pulls out a little pocket compass. That way. She points to where the compass is pointing.
That is thoroughly unhelpful, thank you.
What's more important than a direction?
Well, other than the fact that she can move, maybe a distance.
That will take you to their tower. They will never be far from their tower. And certainly not
And
for
how
long.
far away is their tower?
She shrugs. I don't have a map. I could give you this compass if you'd like.
I'm certain you're not going to do that out of the kindness of your heart, though.
Well, that's true. I could also give you this ring. She pulls out a ring with a large purple gemstone.
And what does that ring do?
This ring will take you to the castle. Well, to my castle, and my castle's not far away from their castle. I have a circle that will take you right there. But it only does one person.
And what exactly would you want for this compass?
Once I say so.
What do you have that I could want? Hmm. I want two things from you. First thing I want is for you to hang yourself with this rope. She flicks on the rope that she's holding. Well, that she's been holding onto. Hang yourself and then come back. Prove to me that you are actually celestial.
Straight up, kill yourself.
Think you can do that?
I'm gonna be honest. This is, I think, proof that she's a celestial, guys. I don't think we can doubt her anymore. No one tells people to kill themselves like an internet user.
And why would you want that?
I need to know that you're a celestial before I can ask the second thing of you.
I guess you're just gonna have to either take me at my word or keep that compass of yours.
She narrows her eyes. Pity. They open right back up almost immediately. Well, too bad we couldn't make a deal. She's kind of dangling the compass in her hand.
Yep, that's fine. Kevin's just standing there staring at her silently, waiting for her to leave.
She's making herself quite comfortable. It'd be at this point that you would arrive, Nia.
Alright. I'm gonna go look for the nearest person. Wait, are they like in the top deck? Can I see them?
Yeah, top deck.
Have I seen this house before, or was I just asleep when she was around?
You were in your room.
Who the fuck's that?
That is Alice, one of
Oh.
the original Celestials.
Stares at him. Hello.
What are you?
Celestial. Tribrid. Changeling now. It is what it is.
Fair enough, I think.
Was going insane, had to change races. I'm gonna have to change back eventually. Shrugs.
Did not know that was a thing. Curious. If you
It's only gonna last
regenerate,
until I die again. Uh-huh.
I've never studied that before.
Cool. Are we gonna leave today?
You can see that she's
I don't
dangling a
think so.
compass near.
Oh, it's a cool compass.
Thank you, he wants it.
Lol. She says the words lol.
Alice cringes.
Hey, she passed the test. Ian narrows her eyes at her. What, can I not say lol?
Well, I know when you're from. And it's after him.
Correct. Where the fuck are you from?
Seemingly after you.
Rip to you. I wouldn't want to live there after that.
Well, there wasn't long to live.
Yeah, I know.
Well, Kevin.
Your voice cut out.
Well,
Is
Kevin.
it cutting out just from each? Everyone, or just?
No, I'm hearing it. Cut out on me this time.
Yeah. All right. Before you guys continue with whatever the fuck it is you guys are doing, can I go? Or are we gonna leave today?
That's what we're trying to
Just looking
find
at you,
out.
Kevin. Yeah, but like that's this whole thing is really reeking of not my problem. So I wonder if I can go back to the Grove.
Go ahead, Nia.
Thanks. Bye. She's gonna skip away. I'm gonna go find Nilvaris.
Alright.
He's in his room. He isn't gone anywhere.
Knocks.
It's open.
Sup?
Sorry, do we
She
go
opens the door.
before we do this with you? Maybe wait for them to finish their interaction.
No, that's good.
I was
I'm
assuming
fairly
that
sure they're just going to look
Kevin was
back and
just gonna.
forth until after your conversation's done.
Yep,
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
got it.
what I was assuming.
Okay.
Hey, are we gonna leave today?
There hasn't been any sort of plan. No one's decided anything about if we wanted to actually do anything. Linzel gave us the idea there's another planet of dwarves that it might be quite lucrative for both us and them for us to approach them since they have gemstones
All
that
right.
might actually be useful. So it's an opportunity to perhaps earn a little more income.
Okay.
But Sabo's been busy with whatever he's been doing, and um, Kevin has been figuring things out for himself. So there hasn't really been any time to really talk about what's to come next.
Understood. I'm gonna go find Aiden, Kevin's apprentice.
Alright, you'd find him.
I don't know if I'm gonna go ask if he wants to spend a few hours in the Grove. Wait, can he leave the ship legally?
He tries to avoid doing that in this nation.
James? Yeah, not in this nation, right?
Technically, he's not even meant to be in this nation on the ship, but
Alright, then never mind. I'm not gonna ask that. Assuming Nye's in her room or doing something else.
Naya hasn't been on the ship since you guys last left.
Cool.
In fact, you've not seen Naya since you got back.
Was she in the house?
No.
I'm gonna go ask her around where she is. She leaves her ship, by the way. Flies away.
Okay.
We can go back doing Kevin and Alice fake now if you'd like. Unless they really are just going to stare back and forth at each other.
You've seen how stubborn Kevin can be. What do you think?
Too fucking shy.
So, Kevin, after about 10 minutes of this, you would notice faint greenish lines between the wooden boards of the ship below her feet.
All right.
As something
Something
is very
presumably magical.
slowly oozing out from the deck below to where she is.
Is this the ooze creature?
It appears so.
It doesn't ever leave its box without a reason, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna see what happens here. Because it's just life energy, so worst case, it tries to heal her, from what I understand, right?
Well, you could certainly make that assumption.
It is fair for Kevin to make that assumption, is it not?
Yes.
All right. Then I'm gonna see what happens.
Okay, the guy literally cannot miss this creature. Let's see if he misses on the other two. Because with those -5 penalties from map, he might actually. Nope. That's funny, I've got Flurry targeted. Okay. So, the used creature
Nice.
grabs onto her ankles, and you see the life drain out of her from head to toe.
Oh boy.
Sorry, the third one would actually be something different. But I'm fairly sure the second one is actually what takes them down. This is what the third one actually is. 48, okay. Yeah. So, while she's standing there, their life drains from them from head to toe, and then they thud onto the ground.
Oh, no. The ooze creature spoke, didn't it?
Yes.
What'd you do that for?
Bad life.
What do you mean, bad life?
Bad life. Poison. Poison. The creature almost seems like it's pleading with you to understand. You can see on the deck where it oozed through, there is now small plants sprouting out. The ooze then sinks back through the deck floor.
I'm inclined to believe. I don't know what, but I'm inclined to believe that this ooze knew more than I did.
Are you gonna call anybody?
Not immediately. Kevin still has to process just what happened. But then eventually, yeah, he'll probably call, "Hey, Nilvarius, you should probably come up here."
Obviously, he leaves with that. Like, it sounds like there's a little bit of uncertainty and confusion in his voice, so he expeditiously gets up to the surface, up to the top deck.
Yep.
I'm assuming her form is just on the ground, right?
Yep. You identify the
What?
spell instantaneously. This was harm. For an incredibly potent
Harm?
form of it.
Harm?
Harm.
That's strange. This thing was supposed to be life. It was supposed to be positive energy in base. You had it casted harm on it. Huh. I kneel down at her body and just examine. I'm certain it was harm. I was actually harm. It wasn't heal, and this quote unquote Alice was undead.
You're relatively certain that it was harm. Maybe it transferred the life energy from them to it, absorbing it from her.
Oh, okay. It was that direction. It was that direction instead.
The more you look, the more it seems that way.
Huh. Did the ooze say anything?
Just that Alice was bad life and poison.
Well, she was venomous by her very personality, but I don't think the ooze thought in that manner. I start rifling through rifling through her stuff. I'm assuming the compass or whatever she had was ours. Just it's clattered on the ground, right?
Yep, so there is a small circular spell book. There is the compass that fell on the ground. There is magical robes. There is a strange pendant. A ring. And then a bag of 5,000 gold. Bit over that.
Nice. What exactly were you two talking about?
Well, I wanted to know where her apprentice Morgana was, and she said the compass would lead me to her tower. But she obviously wasn't just going to give me that compass, so she asked for two things. The second thing she wouldn't tell me until I did the first thing, and the first thing was hang myself with that rope.
I pick up the compass and toss it to him. Good riddance, then. Anyone who asks for such a thing is insane.
Novarius, she's a celestial. Be careful, because if she regenerates, you could get hurt.
Tragic. Then I guess we're going to sit here and have an opportunity to actually directly observe the regeneration process. If she does, I don't want her to strike out at us. So I do remove all her, all her stuff from her her person.
Yep.
Before he actually really looks into any of the other things he removes from her, he actually just sits on a barrel and just watches and just waits.
When you remove the necklace, a glamour charm appears to be removed. Which is strange, because you
Okay.
didn't sense magic from that necklace.
Oh, it's an illusion. Illusion magic is actually much more difficult to actually directly detect. So it would make sense I would completely overlook it.
Yep.
So what happens when I remove it?
Nothing seems to change on her, but there was a flicker as if something changed. And then you notice
about
her
the
eyes. They are no longer celestial.
Well, that solves that mystery. She just masquerading as this Alice person? One way or another, you got what you needed in the end, and you didn't, and you're not the one who did this to her. So, the zero sum.
Kevin does not feel good about this.
Kevin, what's wrong?
It's still someone died.
They did, and they weren't, and then the death was not of your making. This is the person who would have no qualms with sacrificing innocent lives if it achieved their goals and achieved their cause. You should not mourn their loss. I know you feel your own way about it, and of course you have to go through whatever you need to go through, but but know that you really shouldn't feel bad about it. She wanted you to kill yourself just so she can observe how you regenerate. Anyone who's that masochistic doesn't deserve to live. And he tosses the compass to you.
And he will reluctantly catch it.
Anything else of interest to note on her body? Is there a chance that she may be artificial, like she was made via like a clone ritual,
It
or is
doesn't
she some sort
appear
of
so, but
simulacrum of some kind?
But after you remove the clothes, you can see that there is a sigil carved into their back.
Is this something that I can actually try and interpret, or is this more rune stuff?
Surprisingly, it doesn't feel magical.
Does it pertain to a language then?
It doesn't seem to. It seems to be some sort of spell, but it's not active.
What kind of does it radiate any kind of magic that I can actually perceive?
No, it doesn't seem to have ever been activated.
So it seems dormant. It's not radiating any magic of any kind.
Correct.
Anything I can probably do, like actually do a direct detect magic and spend time like
Make me
analyzing
an
with
occult
Arcana,
check.
or
This is some sort of memory harvest spell. To allow you to draw out the memories from whatever creature it is branded into. Might destroy the creature's mind in the process.
huh. Like the person who
I'm here.
has the
Hello.
as in a damage is the person who is currently has the the sigil on them, or the person
Yes,
who is activating it.
the person who has the
Question.
sigil on them.
Question.
Yeah.
Who did the thing eat the?
The ooze murdered fake Alice.
It did. She's dead.
She's dead.
Let's go.
So with that in mind, that it destroys the bearer, and and whoever is activating it is the one who receives the memories.
Yep.
Am I understanding that correctly? Okay. Do I have an understanding of how I can activate it?
Yes, though the creature needs to be alive for this to actually work.
Oh, okay. Damn.
That being said, if this creature was alive now, you would have no trouble triggering the spell.
Okay. We don't really have the resources just to arbitrarily get them back to life anyways. What now, Kevin?
Let's at least give them a proper burial.
Oh, I managed, dude.
Yeah, that sounds all right to me. She may have been venomous in her personality, but at the very least, she everyone deserves a proper burial.
Okay.
You know what would have been really funny? Like really funny.
What's
What's
that?
If
that?
this was the real Alice and we just killed Alice for real. I know that's not the case, but that would have been fucking hilarious.
Pretty sure
Especially for
the real Alice had probably had more than 200 HP.
I mean, I'm not. That's why I'm saying it's not like her.
130.
It would have been funny, right?
Oh, absolutely. So, in the meantime, while Kevin does his whole thing, and I gathered her stuff, I go back down. I go downstairs to go find the ooze.
Okay. You find it in its little room, in its little cube.
What was poisonous about that woman? Was it because of who she simply was, or something that she was made of?
You notice that there's a little black ichor inside of the ooze, that it's kind of isolated it into like a small section of itself in one of the corners. Bad life. The puddle of black ichor inside of it is shaken as if to show you it, to make it more obvious to see. You've never seen anything like this before.
Am I? If I attempted to link mine with you, would you be able to make me understand?
Yes.
He reaches out his hand in the ooze's direction, and just sort of in like gestures. Please do not pass on any of your energy onto me. I'm just simply gonna link minds with you. And I basically, so it has the opportunity that it's actually gonna, touch me of its own accord, basically.
Yep, a tendril reaches out and wraps around your hand as if to hold on to you.
Does it share? So I cast my link.
You feel an area of almost nothingness, but there's positive energy around you. And then you feel small flames of positive energy moving throughout an area. And then you feel a blackness appear. Cold, death, corrupted with a small positive flame inside of it. And as the creature gets closer to it, it feels the darkness trying to stuff it out. And the ooze reaches out to the darkness. It grabs onto the darkness and it siphons it away. It draws it into itself. But the positive flame that is left after the darkness is gone is too weak. It falls apart without the darkness to sustain it.
So this darkness was keeping her alive, so to speak, but it was poison to us.
It nods.
Thank you. So I go back. So after that, I go back up to the deck. Anything change when I get back up top?
I believe Kevin is preparing the body to be taken to shore to be buried.
Correct.
From what I was able to gain from the ooze, it seems that whatever poison was inside of it was actually responsible for keeping her restored, keeping her alive. That there was some figment of the original person, I think, if I'm understanding it correctly, but she was corrupted by this poison. If I'm understanding what I learned from the ooze, anyways.
If you had to describe it in mundane terms, you'd probably describe it as a curse, Nilvarius.
Now that I think about it, I this might have well been a curse that was extracted from her by the ooze. I'm not normally. It seems that she might have been innocent in the grand scheme of things, that someone else forced this upon her. But I'm not sure if it's actually we have the capacity of actually bringing her back to life. We drain this town of resources, resurrecting Lubin. Not Lubin, resurrecting Aiden. So using a reincarnate to bring her back wouldn't really be feasible. I'm not sure if it's any consolation, but for all we know, she may have been tortured by this curse. Any words from Nia or Kevin or no? It's
Is
just
Nia even there?
did
I
you
don't
came
think
back to
Nia's
the? Oh, Nia's not there. Oh, okay.
No, Nia fucked her right up. She
Oh,
was like, "Hey guys, are we doing something now?" You said, "Well, no." She was like,
that's
"Okay, bye."
that's right. But I'm assuming Kevin doesn't really say anything. He's just
No,
quiet.
he's taking in the information you're giving him, but is staying quiet.
Hold, just thought of something.
Right, near you would find Naya.
Cool. Where's she?
She has been staying at a park. Park is a strong term for this area.
I
It
will
is
approach.
a tree and some grass and some benches.
She flies down.
Hello, Nia.
Hi.
I didn't know you were back.
She watches.
Have you come to liberate us from this prison?
She continues watching for a second.
You can see that she's been staying here for a fair bit of time.
Why are you here?
This is as free as I can be.
Is this her take our daughter?
No.
Have you been seeing them?
Yes.
Okay.
They are not teaching them to fight.
If I'm not mistaken, that sort of education would only begin when they're a bit older.
They will fall behind their peers back home.
No, they won't. What peer could ever compare to me?
You were fighting from the day you arrived.
Sorry, what?
You were fighting from the day you arrived.
And I will teach her everything I know. As I hope will you.
I have located a tower that is under the control of kobolds.
Interesting. Are you going to take it on?
It will be her first trial with me.
Wonderful. When?
3 months or so. When the calendar rules reset,
I see.
and I can take her for a week or two.
Should I be here?
Will you be here?
I can, if you'd like me to. The others do not seem to be in a particular rush to leave.
Do you belong
And even
here?
if they would, I belong with my child. I am going to do what I can to make sure that she grows up free and that she gets a proper education as well. For now, that means that I have to find a way to get her freedom back. After that, I will have to find a plan. Whatever.
You speak of her, but not of me.
I cannot decide for you. That is a mistake I made once and not again. I would like your company, yes, but I am not responsible for it. I will not take the right to choose away from you. Does she respond or just wish that she's just watching?
She stops and thinks on that answer for a bit.
Alright.
You can tell that makes her feel a bit discarded. Though that was not your intention. And she knows that was not your intention, but it is difficult to not feel that way.
Yes, but Nia knows that she at least has a passing understanding of how she thinks, right?
Yes.
So she knows what Nia means by that, and she knows that Nia values freedom in general a lot, correct? So trying to pretend like she doesn't think the way she does in order to not say something that might be misconstrued as an act of discarding would be dishonest.
Which is why it takes her a while to process it, because it's quite complex with all the stacking.
Yep. She will wait.
The time that you take near, our blood grows old. Our, our, she goes to say child, but she pauses. Our child, she says a second time, is naming themselves.
I know. It is a tragedy.
She is learning their ways, adapting to their people. The more I fight with her on this, the more she doubles down on it.
That is, of course, why they made her stay here. That was their plan. And there is little for us to do about it if we do not. He pauses. Well, I'm sure you know what I mean.
Do you have a plan?
Yes.
Will it be in time?
I hope so. It is as fast as I can make it. But I cannot see the future.
Then we wait impatiently.
It will be as fast as I can make it, and that is what I can promise you. I promise you. I'm doing my best. And I have a safeguard in case things go wrong. That is what I can say.
She nods.
I'm not back. Question, with the whole visitation thing, we can take her for a few days, right? Instead of her going to class, right?
Yes, that's already what happens pretty much once a week.
Yeah, but what I mean is, can she come home to us when we're around instead of staying at the campus?
Yeah, but that comes out of that time.
Alright. So no, probably not worth it then.
Alright?
I'm gonna go to the Grove.
Alright. Kevin, do you take the body ashore?
Yep.
Where would you like to bury it?
Do they have designated spots for burial, like graveyards or stuff?
Yes, but it's not at the city, it's at the actual old people home. There's more graveyard there than there is the rest of the city.
If I knew that, I would probably just see if I could get Sabo to fly us there real quick so I could bury her there.
Yeah, it's a short trip. You'd be there and back before it's daybreak.
That's perfect.
For most people, it's a day trip. You guys can go over that mountain. Well, hill. Okay. So then, the next day, people.
I'll continue exploring the Grove, training, meditating.
Now that you have the compass, Kevin, what's your plan?
I would like to gather up a bunch of the party, as many people as I can. Doesn't have to be everyone. Discuss that Alice said Morgana, who this compass points relatively to, is a curse breaking expert, and that they are who Alice used anytime they needed a curse broken. But if Alice was lying about being a celestial, then I don't know that this is true either. But it's the one of the better leads that we have.
I will help. I will go with you, but it also occurs to me that if she's an expert in breaking curses, she's probably also an expert in placing them. There's also a chance that this figure may have actually been the one responsible for placing the curse on our Alice to begin with.
Maybe.
But if this is the route you want to take, then I will go. Then I will go with you.
It's the only route I know of at the moment.
Yesler's thinking. She tries to find a way to argue against it, but she comes up short. She agrees that it is likely the best course of action, but it seems very questionable.
It is an incredibly uncertain path, but it's the best path that we have at the moment.
Because I think this is the earliest that I was going to leave early for now.
Alrighty,
So I feel a bit tired, and I do need to be up early.
Okay.
fair enough.
Hey guys, thank you for having me today. Sorry for leaving me early, but I don't think you're gonna be needing me for that adventure. So
That's okay.
Well, it
See you
depends
later.
on if Nia's going with them or not.
is anyone gonna fucking tell her? Because she's all the way in the fucking side of the grove, and I don't think anyone's calling her.
Oh,
Well,
I think I'm pretty
they're
sure
not just
we were trying
leaving.
together.
I thought they were just leaving. Sorry, I
No,
can be
no.
here for another half an hour if you'd like me to. That's about it.
The question is, do you want to come with us or not? More than anything,
If
Kevin
someone
would
goes out of
find
their
you
way to call
before
her,
we
but
leave.
sure, I guess she's coming with.
Okay. We honestly have no idea how far away this place is, so
Yesler wants to know what exactly is the plan. Is it to go get something from this person, or what if this person asks us to go on a quest for them?
well, assuming Alice was telling the truth, Morgana apparently has a rod of disjunction, I think she called it.
Hold on, I have to make an interjection. Is this place about gonna be farther away than 3 months? To and fro.
Likely, yes.
Nia's not going.
Okay.
She's gonna let you guys know that she has that thing coming up with her child that she would like to be there for.
Okay.
Understandable.
And I guess that's where I go. Sorry.
Fair
Bye bye.
enough. See you. I don't know what this Morgana would want for this rod of disjunction if they're even willing to part with it, or what they would ask for in return for their help, but I think that is the most likely way that we have at the moment of even gaining the ability to break this curse.
I do not like how this sounds. But I am not seeing many other ways. Novarius, what was the name of the creatures that could eat curses?
Nilvarius would remember. The player, however, you're asking a lot
Disenchanters.
from him. Were they just disenchanters?
Disenchanters, yeah.
Yeah. I believe they were called disenchanters. Where exactly we would find them in the world is really anyone's guess.
There's got to be more creatures like that so we don't have to rely on such evil creatures to help us. I, for one, am tired of relying on evil to do good.
I would be happy to try to look for disenchanters for Morgana and leave that as a backup plan.
Even if we can't find a disenchanter for it, there's got to be something that can eat, consume, drain.
Well, we know there's at least two, so there's probably more.
Well, it sounds like we kind of know the three. Of course, there's this rod, which we don't know if the owner will be actually helpful. We of course have these creatures that we need would have to spend time actually searching for. And then of course we have the parasites would be remarkably dangerous and it would require a lot of delicate planning and a lot can go wrong.
And there's one more that
But
you can actually think of, Nilvarius.
hmm.
The ooze.
Oh, okay. You know what? That ooze absorbed the curse that was inside of our Alice. Perhaps it can be petitioned to actually successfully do this, actually. It seems to be in its nature to seek out stuff like that and just and consume it and destroy it. I mean, by your account, when it attacked Alice, it just did so all on its own. It seems to want to do it instinctually.
Yeah, it seeped up right through the floorboards and just grabbed onto her.
It is an option.
And what do we think of that option then?
I think it merits. It seems the safest, but we don't know. Of course, there is an issue that we don't know this. We don't know the scale of its ability to absorb. We know how powerful the curse is, but we're not aware of the scale of our ooze's ability to do such a thing. This is the first time it's actually showcased that ability.
And if we're working with Greystone, we have to be pretty careful so that no one gets trapped again.
We need to be remarkably certain.
I think
I
it's a
don't have.
good option. I just don't know how we can test anything like that without going and trying.
Do you know the absolute distance you need to be before you're actually taken hold of by the curse?
Not specifically, but there is a rough distance that we were able to gauge.
A quarter of a mile outside of a castle wall was the estimate.
Well, maybe the first step to actually just make before we even do this, we need to figure out how to quantify our ooze's ability to accomplish this task. Obviously, if it's too much of a job for our ooze to actually do it, then we probably need to come up with additional plans on top of it. Or maybe it absorbs a certain amount of it that puts it within reach of others to actually accomplish.
This is probably where Sabo would
Such.
interject with his ooze expertise. Well, oozes are pretty good at not only absorbing things, but then adapting to absorb more of that thing. The more curse we feed it, the better at absorbing curses it might get.
But it wouldn't have an absolute limit of what it can absorb.
With oozes, the
Our
difficult
oozes,
part is getting it so that it can even process that material in the first place. Usually, getting it to jump from one food type to another is quite difficult. Couldn't imagine how we would get it to consume curses of anything, but if it is consuming curses, we are
likely due to its unique nature that it's actually gained from that positive energy event.
I think that would be. I think we just need to test it then. We need to see if it'll eat another curse.
alright.
Well, if we want to be able to test it, perhaps we can return back to town and ask the council. I'm sure they have some. I'm sure they have some sort of cursed object that we can actually use to test with.
I
Linzel
could
is already
also
aware of what
bestow
exactly we're
curse.
doing. Oh, that's simpler, honestly.
I would rather do that.
I'm in agreement.
But are
Linzo
we
was
sure we
not
should do
fond of
this?
me at our last meeting.
What was that?
Linzel did not seem fond of me at our last meeting.
It's okay. I understand the disdain for. I understand the disdain for her. What did you say, James?
Are we sure we should do this?
At the very least, we have an opportunity to test. Can you use a bestow curse on an object?
Let's see, can she? She will cast dull and... Oh, no, that can't be cast onto an item. No, it looks like she can only cast people. Sorry, curse people. She'll tell you that she can only curse people. But she'd be willing to use it on herself to test this. Can you hear me?
Why don't we ask the ooze first?
Ask the use what?
If it can eat curses. I mean, it can talk. And
It
I
can
mean,
talk,
if
but it's very fragmented. In order for me to actually understand it, I had to cast Mind Link to actually understand what exactly it was experiencing. It can't communicate in that, it can't really communicate clearly. But at the very least, we can perceive the curse. You can actually see a darkened orb where the ooze absorbed a curse from Alice.
my only question though is if the ooze does in fact absorb curses, can it only do so by draining the life from the curse bearer? I don't know that I want to test that.
I think there's a difference here. There's a difference here between a curse region and a people have a curse individually placed upon them. The people you have are affected by a curse that originates within that castle itself. They are affected by the curse, but it does not directly seem to be cast on them. Is that correct?
Right, but what about Alice versus Yesla? If we were going to test that, would the
Uh,
ooze try to kill Yesla?
I think there's a significant degree of difference. It may actually hurt Yisla, but Yisla isn't alive because of the curse on her. Our Alice was alive because there was a curse on her. That's the idea that I got from the ooze when we actually linked that that our Alice was sustained by it. There was an underlying person, an underlying flame, as the sensation that I got was, but they were sustained by the curse. So it may hurt Yisla, but Yisla isn't sustained by a simple ordinary curse. She's going to be using a simple curse that is well below the maximum ability that she has. So it may hurt, but I don't imagine it should actually kill her or cause significant harm. He looks to Yisla, like for confirmation if you think the same.
My expertise on this is probably less than yours, but I think along the same lines.
How sure are you both?
We're in uncharted territory. This is only theory.
I have faith.
There hasn't as far as I know, even Sabo, there's never been an ooze creature that has the ability to do what we're exactly asking it to do. So we're in uncharted territory. Logically, it makes sense. That's all I am working off of.
Okay.
Also, instinctually, but if we're giving it directions, maybe that actually would give it a better means to handle the situation. If we're asking it to extract the curse itself from Yisla when she attempts it, maybe giving it guidance and better, more direct action might actually improve our chances of success.
And if this doesn't work, you can remove the curse on yourself, right?
I should be able to dispel it, yeah.
Okay. If you're sure you want to do this, then let's give it a try.
Alright. So, she would go down to the ooze room. She would cast a curse spell on herself.
Beforehand, make sure I instruct the ooze what exactly we are trying to do and give it an understanding of what to expect. As much as it can understand what we're asking of it.
The ooze seems very disgusted by the idea. Willingly
But
making
if this is,
someone cursed, or in its case, in its description, poisoned.
but understand, if we are successful in this test, we will need your help to free many more people from a far more debilitating poison.
The ooze seems surprisingly understanding, which is strange for it. It's probably the most coherent its thoughts have been.
All right. Let her rip.
She casts a spell. And you see her skin rupture in a few areas as it became slightly too tight, but she seems almost entirely okay. Ouch! It's gone. The ooze only had to touch her for a moment to tear it from her.
Is there a visible change on the ooze? Like another speck of darkness absorbed into itself?
Kind of. It's like tiny black dots were drained and moved over to the curse, but, well, the curse black area, you there.
Okay.
The spell seemed
At
to
what
be
ra-
inconsequential in comparison to the amount that's already there.
What rank was your curse that you bestowed?
6th circle.
6. I think this might work.
The ooze
Yeah.
did hurt Yesla, is that right, James? Like even a little bit.
Yeah, a tiny bit.
Lay on hands.
The wounds heal instantaneously. Thank you, Kevin.
You're welcome.
So what's the plan now?
Well, if the and it's able and willing to help us with Greystone, then I don't think there's a reason not to try this. I think the only question is how much of the curse does it need to degrade before you're able to remove the curse with your own magic.
I guess we won't really know until we get there and try it.
Ooze, do you experience any pain or discomfort, or is there any change in yourself when you do that when you absorb this poison?
Poison.
Are you damaged by this poison?
Poisoned. For the first time, it adds the word the letters ed to the end of the word.
You're willing to help us destroy more of this poison and heal others.
The ooze nods from inside of the cube.
All right. Is there anything left to discuss?
I don't think so. Let's give this a try.
Should we
When we
time
get
this to
there,
Should we time this for making sure that Nia is also aboard? Because there may be still unforeseen complications afterwards, and a fight may come after this anyways. Might be wise to make sure that we are all properly assembled. Nia can take the time that she needs off for herself, continue training. Perhaps if you have the ability to also do the same thing for yourself and be ready for what can be a future conflict, we should do so.
Yes, Lord agrees.
yeah, if we're doing this, we should do it together.
I don't anticipate this king inside to take this entire thing lying down. And I imagine that even if the curse has been broken, he still may be rearing for a fight.
Well, and there's a whole matter of how we have to deal with things inside the castle as the curse is being broken as well.
Yes.
Someone needs to go in there and disarm the king. If possible, I'd like to make sure the prince is alive before we break the curse as well.
There's no real way for us to do that. We'd have to go inside anyways. We'd need to break the curse before you can even approach.
Unless I go in while you guys are working on breaking it from the outside.
I know you've become accustomed to dying and coming back to life, but you lose parts of yourself every single time. I wouldn't advise actually doing that. I would suggest waiting. We're breaking the curse regardless. Whether or not the prince is in there and whether or not he is he has changed or not isn't going to affect the outcome at all. You going inside ahead of everyone else and leaving yourself vulnerable only only serves to put yourself in jeopardy. No matter what, the prince is going to be affected by the curse all the same. Same with everybody else. There's nothing prudent about going in there and actually doing this by yourself.
No, Varius, I don't think you quite understand what I mean here.
Explain.
The prince was cursed when he was around 8 years old. His father, the king, forced his hand into killing someone. That's what put him under the curse. And he has committed suicide nearly every day since. And he keeps coming back. he does not deserve the fate that he was dealt. I would like to make sure he is alive before we break the curse. Because if he is not, he will not come back. And the king has a weapon that could kill just about anyone in that castle. I want to take that away from him before the curse is broken, so that he does not kill more than he already has.
Hello.
Hello, Sabo.
Hello.
You seem like you already have your mind made up on this. And even though you are celestial from a human world, you have the stubbornness of a dwarf, so I doubt I can change your mind. So I'm not going to waste my breath. I understand why you're doing it, and it is noble in itself, and I will say nothing else in the matter.
Does someone want to fill in Sabo while I be right back?
Sure. So, we've spent a few days since session started with downtime-esque activities. Kevin wandered off for about 2 days to decide what he wanted to do with Linzel's proposal about the curse breaking that she had mentioned, and he ultimately turned that down. Nia went to find Naya and her child, and figured out that her kid is kind of adopting more human customs and also being a little bit bullied at school. The child has named themselves Lydia instead of Lith that the parents had named them. Novarius has been working on a little bit of research, and fake Alice is dead. She came onto the ship after Kevin turned down Linzel's proposal, because Kevin had wanted to see if he could figure out a way to contact Morgana that Alice had told us about, to help break the curse. And she offered him a compass that would point to Morgana's tower. But she had two things that she wanted from Kevin. The second thing she wouldn't tell Kevin until he accomplished the first thing. And the first thing was to hang himself with a rope that she was holding. So he did not do that. And then they kind of were at an impasse, just staring at each other for a while. And the life ooze that was in the cargo hold seeped its way up through the deck, touched Alice, and drained all of the life out of her. She just dropped dead on the spot. And that is when we discovered that that life ooze that we have absorbs curses. So we just did a little further testing on that. It is, in fact, curses that that thing eats. And so we are thinking of using it to eat the curse around Greystone. And so that's what we're discussing right now.
Perfect, I just got back.
Do you have any questions on any of that, Sabo?
Mr. Sabo, Sabo, do you hear us?
I hear you. Do you hear me?
Okay,
Now
we
we
do
hear you.
now.
Okay, thank you. Fixed. Yeah, which Alice got killed?
The
Fake
fake
Alice.
Alice that we met last session.
Why are we calling it a fake Alice?
Because when
Assumption.
she was killed,
Mhm.
and her necklace was removed, it was revealed she was not a Celestial at all. She
But
had
instead,
illusion magic, changing her eyes to Celestial eyes.
It was also ascertained that whoever this fake Alice was, there was a person there, but she was being sustained by a pretty powerful curse, and that's what the ooze absorbed.
so they
And it
didn't.
did.
So basically, there was probably a different person pretending to be Alice, but not really Alice.
Yeah,
There's also a mark on her back that basically like a room when activated it, whoever is bearing the mark, like the tattoo, it would pretty much like carve out their memories and probably kill them or drive them insane and forgot what the nomenclature was, and then presumably the person who activated the tattoo probably gains those memories. um I feel like this Morgana person was actually being an expert in curse breaking may have actually been the person to place the curse, but that's all just
Conjecture.
theory, anyways. Conjecture.
Okay,
Thank you.
fair enough. Thank you for the updates.
yep, no problem.
Sorry, I had a little bit of sleep accident.
That is
It
fair.
very nearly happened to me today. It has been a long week.
I'm like, took me a really long time to fall asleep yesterday. I was contemplating messaging saying that I might not make it, but I was like, no, come on, I have to. Just have to go to sleep and make it. But in the end, I failed. Right, and you were discussing just Kevin's decision?
Yeah, Kevin wanted to go in there and secure and protect the prince, basically.
Basically, Kevin has two things in mind when we go to Greystone. Is he wants to try to make sure Prince Connor is actually alive when we break the curse, because he didn't deserve the fate that he had gotten. So he wants to make sure that he can actually get out, and then take the gun away from the king, so the king doesn't just murder everyone anyway.
Okay.
That's mainly it.
Alright. So what is everyone's thoughts on this plan?
And it's been 2 days, you say? Since.
2 or 3. And
So
then
this
we
is
were
day 3, but it's been 2 days since the meeting.
okay. Yeah, so we are currently contemplating taking about 3 months ish. I think, was that right, James? Of downtime before Nia would rejoin us.
Nia's got an event in 3 months' time that they would then leave for. So it'd be longer than 3 months.
Gotcha. And the travel to Greystone would be longer than that. So, what would it be? 4 months, 5 months that we were thinking of taking downtime for?
You could guesstimate about 5 months would be safe.
So we are contemplating taking about 5 months of downtime to let Nia be able to join us on the trip to Greystone to break the curse, because
Okay,
we don't want to leave her behind because she needs to deal with something with the child.
makes sense.
Kevin, I would like to remind you of Oathline 3. And 9.
Because we're delaying.
And 6.
In what regard?
I just want to make sure that you're keeping those in mind.
I am, yeah. So him disarming the king and whatnot is directly in line with 3. He's also going to make sure that things don't shift too far in the other direction while he's there. 6, we've gone over that this is taking away their suffering under the curse more than anything. And 9, I don't think he has any issues with right now.
Alright.
He is literally going there on the front lines and going under the curse himself. While this whole thing is happening. So I think 9 does not apply.
Alright. I was talking about because of the 5 month delay.
While he would prefer not to delay, I do think it is more important to have everyone there. E- I could ask Nia to see if she wants to be there. But yeah, at least specifically with 9, it would not be out of a fear to act.
Alright.
If anything, Kevin would prefer to go right now, but he is trying to be considerate to his friends.
That doesn't sound like Kevin. Alright. So, waiting for 5 months?
Yeah, I guess
Yep,
so.
I think so.
Okay. Then setting out?
I
Yep,
suppose.
I think so.
Okay.
Oh, when our Alice died, did she give out any XP when she died?
Yes. Let me get that for you.
Did those find it tasty?
The ooze found it poisonous.
Yeah, but it wants to actually help us.
So it
24,362 each.
24,362.
Yep.
Can we get more Alice's, please? Okay. Bonus XP. Up, I think. Yes.
So I guess during the downtime, I'm gonna pour over the things that I picked up from Alice when she died.
Was the Kevin hanging rope a normal rope?
It was just one of the ropes tied to the ship.
Ah.
She
Okay.
just didn't like Kevin.
I mean, who does?
Can I get a craft check for investigating the items?
Sure.
Would you like assistance? Should I investigate the items with you?
Either way, it doesn't matter. I don't care. Either way.
I just don't even really know what the items are, because I would be very interested in I would be more interested in any items that especially look like they're well made.
I mean, presumably you were there, and he's not trying to be secretive about it. So if you inquire about it, like, yeah, sure, come on in.
Let me just do the craft.
Yeah, pretty sure you have better crafting than I.
Yep, with the forging hammer.
Only slightly better. Being sarcastic.
Mm.
Yeah, that much better, but a little bit.
Yeah, that's 6 points to 6 points.
Okay. So these items appear to all have been crafted by the same person, except for the ring. The ring seems to be much older than the rest of them.
What does the ring do?
Seems to be some sort of teleportation effect that if the gem is shattered, whoever is wearing it will be teleported.
Mm.
Which would have Kevin told us about the second option of the ring that she would have gave him, because she gave him the option of the
Yeah.
compass and then gave him option of the ring. So we have an idea, assuming she's not lying, that gem takes directly to her castle, and the tower where the what's her name Morgana is actually at is nearby. Assuming she wasn't lying.
But the ring can only teleport one person.
Then sounds like only one time too.
Well, shattered. Yeah, one time. So that's a bit of a tricky one.
There was, if I remember correctly, she had that ring, she had the necklace, she had her robes, and she had a spell book, if I recall.
Yep, a circular spellbook.
Are we able to access the spellbook?
Yep.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, I'm assuming you're just going down the list. He just shows the ring first.
Okay.
Okay. The robes are woven redstone. They are imbued with spell absorption. They
It
can
didn't.
absorb.
It didn't affect her ability. Sorry, go ahead.
They can absorb up to 10 levels of spells, but this is a conscious reaction. You basically have to make sure that whatever the magical effect is hits the robes before they hit you.
Okay. Is that like a max charges and then the robe like disintegrates, or
No,
is
it
that
recharges
like
over
per
time.
day? Okay.
It's per rest, so however long it takes you to actually rest.
Okay. It didn't impact her ability to cast it all.
No.
Okay.
Then there is a glamour necklace. When this item is crafted, select one trait about yourself that you would like to alter. For each tier above this, you can select an additional trait, and then you have it altered while wearing it. Then there is the spellbook. Okay. While attuned to the spell dial, you can find any spell within the book by opening it and using the labels. when you spend 4 actions doing so, you can wipe the spell book of all spells written inside and cast 1 spell from the book as part of the 4 action effect.
So does it actually have spells inscribed into it already?
Yes. Let me get those for
Okay.
you.
How does the wiping work? Is it like a permanent destroy the spells inside?
It completely
Cast
wipes
1.
the book of all spells inside.
So is that like just an emergency book reset?
Yep. Alright. These are the spells contained within it.
Cool. More spells to overinflate my spellbook with.
You say that as if it's possible to overinflate a spellbook.
I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, what spell am I looking for now?
Just use this one and then you can reset it when you get too much spells.
Actually, I just thought of something right now too. Can you take a magic item and basically render it down? Because you used XP in crafting it. If you
Yeah.
rendered an item down, can you get its XP back? Cool.
It's 2d4% of the XP that was used to create the item.
Neat.
So not a lot.
But it's magic that doesn't have to be in the world. I just remember one of the things I learned in Elgara, that magic is less in the world because of random lingering magic items in constructs and all that other bullshit. Can the ring be retooled to actually be bound to a different location?
Perhaps. Doesn't seem impossible.
Okay. I guess another thought, since we're basically in downtime and reached the end of the session, how far away was the dwarves that we met? How far away was that in terms of miles?
Purely horizontal, it is...
Like a straight line for my purposes.
280.
Oh, that's nothing. And when we're there, they mentioned the existence that they can make power stones, right? Stuff that basically stores magical energy. Is that correct? If I remember correctly.
They implied it, yes?
Okay. Well, since we're in a period of downtime and we don't have any, and I don't have necessarily any real projects to do, to come with them or take the ship if they don't want to. But if no one wants to go back, he was gonna use teleport and go back to the dwarves.
What's your plan with the dwarves?
The dwarves mentioned that they've implied that they were able to create power stones. And we didn't spend very much time there. I wouldn't mind spending more time there in learning from them, and I'm sure that I can also teach in exchange. Magical power stones really would be quite the useful tool if I was able to acquire one, or at least know how to make one.
That is true.
Because unless we have something else we're doing exactly in our downtime, that seems like a more fruitful use of my time rather than twiddling my thumbs. I have nothing. I have no pressing projects. Since we're no longer using the magical parasites, we don't require that research and that planning. So find something else more productive to do.
Right. Do keep in mind that from your knowledge of dwarves are quite selfish with their craft. They believe it's only fit for dwarves, so you're going to face quite the uphill battle to actually learn it from them.
Which is why it's like it's not like he's expecting him to straight up give it to him. He's more than willing to actually to trade knowledge or to work. He's more than willing to put in the effort. But at the very least, an opportunity just to simply learn from them and their way and their way of life and actually spending more time amongst them.
Yep.
But we can save that for next week.
Okay.
But I can still go ahead and cast it if you want me to.
Yep, go ahead. Savo.
Yep.
What is your plans?
Right. Think spend some time making sure everything here is running smoothly. Go inspect the blood draining situation.
Yep, things are going quite smoothly there.
Do I think that
They have noticed that the cup has become slower when it comes to absorbing things.
First of all, how did they notice it?
Basically, the amount of blood... So you remember how there's the big long tunnel?
Yeah.
So the amount of blood that it takes for it to actually fill that tunnel, usually it just goes straight in and it drains away like a cup of water going into a sink. Now it's
Right.
like there's a little bit of a blockage or something.
Okay. Well, we can't have that. We can't have stale blood. We need it to keep flowing, even if it's not getting absorbed.
Well, it seems to be getting absorbed. It just seems to be taking longer. Like, instead of it going instantly, it's a few minutes now.
A few minutes is not maybe not a problem, but if it becomes like longer,
Yep.
then like let's say if it becomes more than 10 minutes, and it sounds like it soon will become more than 10 minutes, so there's no reason to wait. So we do a bypass right before the thing, and if the blood can't go in it, it will just spill over rather than being stuck because we don't want stale blood.
Yep, that won't take more than a week to get set up.
Okay. Uh, how much a day are we managing here?
Was just over 7 to start with, now it's just over 9.
So it's a little bit faster than what Leuven was able to do.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, is there any chance I could research the situation with the blood absorption speed and
Yes, you can.
okay. Well, I suppose at least one of my actions will be that because the chalice needs to be understood. Um, apart from that, I do craft items for Aiden.
The Loxodon at Aiden?
Yes.
Yep.
Don't think I can really craft +4 yet, but I can craft +3 for sure. I should actually be close to crafting +4s. So I guess if it's but we also had the country with the super nice magic metal.
Which medal?
The Arcanum metal. Not the Arcanum, but the high quality steel.
Yep.
The weird country.
The ones with the
Suppose
quote-unquote Eldritch Knights.
yeah. Don't really have well, I need more people to properly take this ship places. I can't just go by myself. I guess that's a no. Yep. Okay. So I'll do researching the chalice, and I will do setting up on the ship my workshops to be like Algaran standard. I don't think I've invested in that yet. but I
No,
do
you
think
haven't
I
yet.
have some. Yeah, okay. Let's just say it for now. I do this, even though I
Alright.
do think I still have the downtime flying back, but I might have not had materials. How long would that take?
Let's see. Per workstation, it is 1 month, and there are smithing, woodworking. What other workstations does Sabo use? I don't think he really uses much other than smithing and woodworking often.
Sometimes alchemy,
That's fair.
but then Alvarius tends to also be an expert in that. But yeah, alchemy definitely, because a lot of bombs and traps use that. Yeah, and I mean, cooking.
Yep, definitely cooking.
Yeah, the rest and any kind of. I don't know for arcane what we do is if there's any gem cutting, but I don't think that's we do that very often.
No, you guys don't usually do gem cutting.
Is that something
Usually all
that
of the gems
could...
that you get are pre-cut. Well, you could start to do it, but it just adds time to processes. Usually it's only about 5% more expensive to get a gem pre-cut.
Okay, then unless I want to do for some very special gem cuts.
It
Yeah,
could be
okay.
worth looking into because you could offer a higher quality gem cut than anywhere else in this nation. I believe you're approaching that level of skill at this point.
Necessarily super worth my time. What I'm more
Yep, that makes
thinking
sense.
about is if there's like a custom made cut. So for example, if the arcane engine was using some gems, probably is,
Yes.
rather than
So if you had to replace
assembling
something
it.
like that, then yeah, you would need to.
Well, also rather than assembling it out of standard pieces, which we can buy, what about assembling it out of custom pieces, which cut to purpose?
That could be worth looking into.
Okay, let's set it up at the very least.
Alright.
That'll give me the 5 months.
Alright. Kevin, what about you?
Kevin is not doing much for those 5 months. He is I guess just trying to prepare for going to Greystone more than anything.
Yep.
He will check in with Aiden though, the Asimar, the slash Loxodon now.
Alright. What are you doing with
It's everyone's
Aiden?
favorite project.
He's been getting a bit cramped on this ship.
Part of
How
why
big?
Kevin's going to check on him.
How big is he? Is he growing?
He's only gotten slightly larger in size from all his working out, but he's also barely fitting in the ship as it is.
Kevin? Or is this like a more to all of us question? What are we doing with Aiden?
It's more to
I
an
think it's to
everyone
all of us.
question.
What does Aiden want to do?
Aiden isn't really sure. He knows he wants to free his people. He doesn't really have a strong foundation for his plan yet. He needs something that he probably wants, first and foremost, to destroy the contract. That's probably his number one desire.
Do we have any contract destroying capability?
You'd need to find where the infernal house is that represents those devils.
Have to go to the palace to destroy the contract. And I guess at that point they're not gonna be very happy with us, are they?
No, so trying to figure out what order of operations do you guys deal with these people in.
Do we just let him train?
We'll probably get him a bigger room closer to top deck, and then
Hmm.
I will widen a couple of the doors for him.
Alright. Just give him a room in the cargo hold so that he can access the top deck quite quickly by just going through the, I forget what it's called, but the cargo hatch.
Sure. And we'll just lower the fish to him through the cargo hatch as well. Why fish? Because we'll probably still have infinite fish left over.
no, we've been flying. We haven't been catching fish.
We've had so much of it.
Don't forget those rations expire after 1 year.
Okay, I guess we don't have any more fish. He's a paladin. He can remove poison, disease from the rations. He'll be okay.
Hmm.
Alright.
Okay. So is there anything else you guys would like to get done in this 5-month time period?
Kevin, you didn't really name any actions.
No, there's not much that Kevin's doing.
Okay. Uh I know is Nilvarus leaving Leuven kind of on the ship while he's going to the dwarves?
I mean, there's nothing you can really do with them. I imagine they have him like, assignments and stuff like that to keep himself occupied to see if he can
Yeah,
improve
it's just that
himself. But not a whole lot.
because Leuven needs some micromanagement, I was thinking that you can't really give him assignments while you're away.
Yeah, that's true.
Kevin can spend his time with Leuven. That's fine.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask James in regards to Leuven's current capabilities. We know that Leuven gets stuck while doing something, but is what he's doing meaningful when he gets stuck? So, for example, is he doing something trivial and then he gets stuck and needs to be unstuck and he can continue doing something trivial? Or can he be doing a complex research and actually making progress?
He seems to have. There's no real difference between how often he gets stuck when it comes to complex research versus simple tasks. He gets stuck washing the dishes as often as he gets stuck trying to do complex calculus.
So we can give him like proper tasks. We just need somebody to supervise him right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, my apprentice is also still on board. You can have him attend to him.
Yeah, let's just figure out what he's researching for us. Can he pick up on do we need the sleep enchantment at all anymore with the new plan?
We do not.
Like we're gonna send in Kevin and then we're going to send in the ooze?
Presumably the ooze is going to be on the outside, just slowly eating at the curse, presumably. And then Kevin wanted is just going to go straight up inside.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
Okay. So what about the crazy people who are out in the world when we break the curse?
We're breaking the curse's source, so the curse should be broken on them too.
Yes, exactly. So now the crazy people all over the world eventually fall asleep, wake up, still crazy, but also now they can sleep and be crazy.
I think the main source of their insanity was their lack of sleep, from what
Yeah,
we gathered.
but having one sleep is not going to fix it. I mean, eventually they'll get killed off. But we are releasing just want to point out we're releasing some psychopaths unleashed into the world.
Yeah, I mean, you have a whole flying ship to yourself and everything.
Yeah, but I worked for it.
No, realistically, there's not a reasonably feasible way to get everyone that originated in Greystone back to the castle for us to break the curse on everyone all at the same time.
Uh,
It doesn't make practical sense.
well,
Because there are also people not under the curse that came from Greystone that are out exploring looking for people to break the curse for Greystone.
yes, but
And they would have no way of knowing.
well, we don't need them to be back because they're not the crazy ones. We just need the crazy ones back. So the idea with the sleep was that theoretically you could lock them in And over time, like the crazy people eventually do have to fall asleep. Eventually. And when they do,
Yes. And we
they'll be
don't know
collected
how
in
long it's going to
Greystone.
take. We don't know how long it's going to take for the ooze to eat away at the curse.
No, we don't. Okay. So we don't want to do that.
If it does
Okay.
take a while, then great.
Okay. Fine. But just a suggestion. I'll just have, I don't know. If Leuven needs tasks, I will just give him more research tasks. I'll give him the gem calculations, the custom gem cutting calculations to do. There we
Alright.
go.
Then, if everyone's good, we can end the session there and we can pick up with the final preparations and then the traveling to. Every time I've got to open the map to actually check its name. Okay. Feel free to move
I'm
up
good
to
with that.
general. Okay, apologies everyone, I've got something else to go deal with in a few minutes. Next week I will be around after the session a fair bit more than this week.
Fair enough.
Take care everyone.
See
All
you.
Bye.
right, see you.